This one took me a long time, but it was so worth it. It's my very first pink geode and my first time working with real rose quartz. Let me show you how it came together. As usual, I started off with a few sketches and I decided to go with the bottom one here. And I'm just doing the underpainting on the wooden panel I have. I had already primed and sanded it, so it's ready to go. And I'm just painting white where I'm gonna have the clear glass. And then I'm painting pink where the rose quartz is going. And this is the fire glass I use. It's a 1/4 inch thick, and I'll have a link to everything I can in my description. This is the beautiful rose quartz. I bought 3 pounds of this on Temu. I actually have a video that I'm unboxing Temu crystals if anybody's interested, and I'll link that as well, but it's sort of interesting and you definitely get some great deals. So here I'm doing the sides with glass, and I'm using a glue gun and just kind of flipping the glass in my hands on top of the side. And this kind of takes a while, but I think it's worth it. It just allows the sides to, or the piece to extend over to the sides. And then I do the same thing for the rose quartz, but instead I'm just putting the glue down and then doing one by one with the rose quartz. It just was easier. I had to pull my old glue gun out because my wireless one died, which is always a shame. But other than that, the wireless glue gun has changed my life. It's incredible. I love it. So here I'm doing the glass on the top, and I just kind of pour a bunch of glass on and then use a paintbrush to put it in place. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect because there's going to be resin on top. And I do the same thing with the rose quartz. So this project probably used 1.5 pounds of rose quartz. And I believe this panel is 18 by 24. So I'm mixing up some resin. And I'm sprinkling it, if you can say that, on top of the glass. But I'm just making sure every piece of glass has a little resin on it. You can kind of do like a cross-hatching technique if you want, but you don't want to overdo it. And I do the same thing on the rose quartz. And then any excess, I just wipe off with a paper towel. And this is the next day. I'm making sure it is level, which is so important. I've definitely learned the hard way. But here my colors are. I'm using ocean white and a pearlescent white, and then gold. I'm using my metallic powder and also a pigment paste gold. And then I have a bunch of Arteza mica powders, so I found the pink ones and I'm using those. And so I'm using some sage and I'm saying a little prayer before I pour my resin down, because that's always a little scary. It's hard when well, I guess it's just nerve-wracking when you put so much time and effort into a piece already, and it's like, okay, you want it to go really well when the resin pours. Anyways, here's the pink color. It was too dark, so I'm adding some white. And then it kind of turned out to be like a raspberry color, which I didn't know if it matched the rose quartz. But this is the lighter pink. And I kept adding white to the darker one. But I decided to not, I didn't want to use the darker one, so I took some more of the light pink and just added white to that so it would be even lighter. All right, so here we go. We're starting out with the gold, and I use a popsicle stick and put the gold around the glass area, and I kind of just push it against the glass. And then I'm a little too impatient for that, so I usually end up using the cup just to pour it. And then I'm pouring my white. And I do white around the edges of the rose quartz. And again, I'm using the popsicle stick to push it to the edge of the quartz. And that's the lighter pink color. And then that's the color that had the white in it. And then I realized I wasn't going to have enough resin, so I had to use that raspberry color, which worked out well. I love that color, and it added a different tone to the piece. And I'm just using a popsicle stick to push the colors together, or push all the resin together so there's no spots. And then I'm using my heat gun, and I move it around a little bit, but I don't go too crazy because a lot of the lines are already misplaced. So this is the next day, and I'm going to do the gold leafing. So that's my gold leaf. I take squares of gold leaf that I buy, and I just cut it into thirds so I have strips, which are easier to use. And then I use Mod Podge for the adhesive. And just a quick side note, I recently invested in a microphone for my videos, so the sound quality should be a lot better. If it is, let me know. I'm just curious. But I am just brushing on the Mod Podge, just a light coat. And then I take the strips of gold leaf and just lightly place it on. And I take a big brush like this that's nice and soft and just sort of tap it and brush it on, making sure all the leafing gets into all the crevices. Now, something that I neglected to do this time, I just thought maybe you won't need it, but normally I do a gold underpainting with gilding paint before I do the gold leafing, and that allows for, if any chips off, the gold will come through. Now, I didn't do that, so this time you'll see there were pieces that came off and the wood kind of came through. So I'm just doing the top right now against the glass. I love the way the gilding looks on top of glass. It's just really cool. And the same thing, just brush it with the Mod Podge and then pop on the leaf and push it down with a brush. So I usually wait about 2 hours or till the next day, and I brush off all the excess leafing. And I love this part, especially on the glass, because it's kind of like you're brushing off dinosaur bones or something. It's a Stegosaurus. And then I take my, what's it called? Dust Buster, which is amazing. And that gets up all the extra leaf really easily. So this is the gilding paint. I got it from Michael's. And I normally use it beforehand all along the sides, but now I'm just going in to touch up where any of the wood came through, which was in a lot of spots, unfortunately. And it looks sort of spotty, but I ended up brushing on the paint in a way it looks cohesive. So now I'm just mixing up some resin. And I'm gonna do the glitter line. So I chose this color, and I have a squeeze bottle. These are so great for doing glitter lines. I buy them on Temu. I will link a I'll give you a link, but it's like a pack of 10 or 20 for pretty cheap. I mean, you can reuse them. It would take a lot to get out all the hardened resin, but you could. So as far as the mixture, I just mix it to my liking. The thicker it is, the tighter your glitter lines will be. I did them a little looser this time, but it's up to you. But you do use a lot of glitter in comparison to the resin. And I'm just going around the outside edge. And all the glitter lines too, I decided to extend over to the sides. And to anybody that watched my last video, which was the tinfoil ocean waves, thank you guys all so much for all your comments. That really warmed my heart, and it was the first video that I got a lot of views, so I'm super excited about that. And you guys are just so nice and sweet. I mean, there maybe was a few negative ones. Like, I'm pretty sure one lady said, "Are you serious? ... This is awful." And surprisingly, that didn't even upset me at all. I mean, people, it's art, you know? Fortunately, I do art for my liking. Like, I just want to like it and think it's beautiful. And hopefully everybody else does, but that's their own opinions. Okay, yay! It's marker line day. This is my favorite day. And I'm using my favorite marker. It's the gold deco color marker. And I will also be using a fine tip white acrylic marker. And I'm just going around all the glitter lines. This is partially why it's my favorite day, because I just get into such a nice meditative state. You can kind of not be such an active participant in the piece and sit back and go with the lines and wherever they take you. But I just go on one side of all the lines. So I do the top, kind of looking like they're radiating out. And then from the rose quartz one, I just do that one side. I debated on whether I should add more lines of gold, but I didn't this time. And I am extending the gold lines on the sides where the glitter lines are. And now I'm adding my white marker, which I went back and forth on where to put these lines, but I put them in between some of the pink colors and on top of one of the colors. And I just kept it consistent on each geode and each corner. It's hard to find a good white paint marker. If anybody knows of one that they prefer that works really well, let me know in the comments. That would be awesome. This geode got a little funky, but it gives it character, I think. So I thought the lines needed more variation, so I took a Posca white marker that's thicker, and I went over that top line on all of them. Unfortunately, the white does fade a lot once you put the resin coat on, but it's still there. Okay, so now I have my clear quartz. These are real quartz, and again, I bought them on Temu. They're beautiful. I buy like a large bag of 5 pounds. They even sell 10 pounds, and you can just go through them and pick out all the ones that are of high clarity. And those are the ones I use in my pieces. But even after picking them out, you still have a good amount that you get for, it's the cheapest I can find for buying quartz in bulk. And again, that's in my video. I unbox some of the clear quartz. Anyways, I take clusters, I pick out 3 quartz crystals, and I make a little cluster and I glue them down with the hot glue gun. And then I take crushed glass and I'll just sprinkle it on top of the glass. And this kind of just gives it another layer of depth. And I think it makes it look more crystalline. So I also then take crushed glass, which is even finer, and it makes it look more sparkly too. And I brush that on, or I sprinkle that on top, especially around the crystal clusters. And I use a brush to get off any excess. And I debated on this piece whether I should do like the druzy effect with the Epsom salt and sand, but I thought the crushed glass would have a good effect. So I'm mixing up my resin, and again, I'm doing the cross hatching on top of the glass, making sure every piece has some resin. And then making sure it's level. I almost forgot to do that there, but since this is a clear coat, this is really important. And for my resin, I again get some from Temu. I get like 2 gallons for 65 bucks. And this resin works great for my projects. I would love to use a more expensive resin. It's just it's too pricey for me. But this is the Diamond Dust. This is such an amazing product. And after you have some resin on top of the glass, you can sprinkle this on. I sprinkle a lot on, especially around the crystals. It just makes everything, it makes the glass sparkle so much more. And now this day is not quite as exciting, but it's another marker line day. But this day we're just going over the lines. And what this is gonna do is give like a 3D effect to the lines. And it's gonna look like the lines are almost coming through the resin. So you're gonna see this little shadow underneath the lines, and it's a minor thing maybe, but it makes it look a lot better. And also the first initial lines on top of the glitter lines are real chunky and stuff like that. The second layer is a lot smoother and looks just looks more professional, I guess. And the white lines are hard to go over. I mean, I wonder if I could just do a line on the second day instead of doing 2 lines, because I think it would still give a shadow. I'm not sure, but You can see how there's a little shadow there. And if you want to sign it, now is a good time because you're going to put your last coat of resin. And this is when I bring out the big guns. This is art resin. This stuff is expensive, so I only use it on my very top coat, and it makes it a lot, it's just looks really nice and works really well. That was a half gallon each, so a gallon total. That cost $120, which I've used for like 6 pieces and now it's gone. That's expensive. Oh, and here she is. I brought her to the beach this morning because I think they film best on the beach, and there was so much seaweed, but it still looked so beautiful. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you want, please comment, and I'd love to hear from you about anything. And also, here's some links if you want to watch more of my tutorials. And if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much.